When I arrived, I had a 1,000-yard stare with a bride that I was marrying in some form of obligation. I realize now that that was not fair to Christine.
Heck. Truly! Stop, sucker!
Isabel and Max and Truly with us. They always look away or harass us when we kiss, but it's not going to stop us.
It's like my dad and her, not to like compare their relationship, but to me, this is what I'm familiar with. So my dad and her they didn't hold hands in public. It makes me just a little bit uncomfortable.
Since Christine Brown has already submitted a countersuit to Kody's complaint in the state of Utah, I can tell you that her actions are extremely aggressive for a family court case. The fact that she is filing this only days after Kody closed on a house indicates to me that Christine Brown is playing to win, is not giving up, and is doing everything in her power to make sure she receives the money that is rightfully hers. In fact, the birth of Truly was a part of If You Can Believe It. Fans have been aware of her care and the money needed to care for her since the first season. Hey, hello everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Now, her care, medical costs, and other expenses are at the focus of a conflict between Christine and Kody. We don't know for sure, but once a child turns 18, you can actually request child support for the previous 4 years in Utah. Given that Isabel underwent scoliosis surgery in September 2020, she may potentially be suing Kody in relation to Isabel. Christine has been responsible for paying for extremely costly operations and even a life-threatening hospital stay. Because of Kody's carelessness, I actually suffered 11 days in renal failure. True has always had a strong relationship with her mother, and Christine has been her primary caregiver. Truly has never had a close or intimate relationship with her father. Fans recall how Kody practically pretended to be a stranger when he bid goodbye to Truly when she left for Utah. Peyton actually reaffirmed and published this on TikTok, saying that she didn't really interact with her father very frequently, and that he only saw her when the cameras were running. He also said that he wasn't a real father when the cameras weren't rolling, that it was all for show, and that he did it to appear like a decent father. Since then, Truly has returned to Utah to live with Christine in Lehi. Since 2021 is actually 14 years old, she will, I believe, become 15 in April of this year. She has a settled life in Utah, and is about to start her 9th year of high school, I believe. It appears extremely doubtful that Kody will have any real custody of his child, and in Utah, a parent is said to have exclusive custody if they are with their child more than 252 days a year. And so it comes to pass, depending on how much custody a parent has, that truly determines how much they pay for child support. Additionally, Kody will be responsible for payment if Christine continues to have primary custody. As I said to you last week, Kody decided to take this case to court. When you are litigating for child support, paternity, or custody in the state of Utah, you have a few options, so that a case can be opened by someone. In this case, they can sue for custody and paternity, and the respondent can either just answer and respond, or they can file a counterclaim, in which they show how this person has injured them or what they need. Therefore, in a family lawsuit, they may attempt to contest Christine's wishes as the petitioner. Thus, Kody might respond, "No, I think I need to have full custody of her. In addition to being unstable, she has actually alienated me. Additionally, my daughter moved to Utah, which is why I don't see her. This whole parental alienation problem is probably going to be used by him. He is heavily involved in the Red Pill Fathers' Rights movement, and he obtains all of his knowledge from a small online community of males who despise women. That's the type of material he eats. Therefore, Kody filed a counterclaim against her. In accordance with Utah court rules, the respondent to a complaint or counter-complaint has 21 days from the date of service of the complaint. Because they require time to react to the claims being made and the accusations in the countersuit, most people do not reply right away. Due to their frequently extremely hectic schedules, lawyers typically set deadlines on their calendars. Additionally, because to their hectic schedules, the majority of lawyers wait until the deadline to file. And in order to respond, the person must go line by line, affirm or refute the allegations being made, and then provide justifications for each request they have. Therefore, it requires time. It takes time for the client and the lawyer to decide what defenses they have. What are your answers? Next comes filing and drafting. However, they didn't wait in this instance. Indeed, they answered today and Christine was served. That's really quick. This indicates to me that Christine was aware of what Kody would say beforehand. It indicates to me that she is prepared to confront him, has anticipated his arguments, and knows what she wants to say before he does. She is also likely to make a false accusation against her. What I'm trying to imply is that she's well prepared. He was going to file, she noted. If you're not ready, you don't usually submit an answer this fast. Christine is also well prepared. Because Kody purchased that land and knew that the property was actually in high school, I also get the impression that time is of the essence in her case. She doesn't want to waste years trying to figure things out. Because of her, she has money. She wants custody decided. She wants her legal rights to be established. She's determined to finish it. Today, she responded to his counterclaims by filing a rebuttal. And it resulted in the fact that she will now meet with Kody for a status conference on December 18, 2024. I'm not sure what Christine is alleging in her complaint, but I believe it's reasonable to suppose that there will be accusations of child abuse, neglect, and abandonment. Concerns regarding his involvement in a cult and exposure to polygamy now that she is out, and she doesn't want to be genuinely active in that church, despite Kody's claims to the contrary, are unknown to us. As well as domestic abuse. Kody hitting his wife or one of his wives is hardly the only instance of domestic violence. This is not to say that he was ever physically active. Verbal abuse, economic abuse, financial abuse, and psychological abuse are all examples of domestic violence. In addition to the child abuse element, it can involve narcissistic abuse. At 14, they most likely won't have to endure spanking. However, to be fair, I am aware that Kody supports this activity in his houses and that Christine does not. Many people have always wondered why Christine was upset with Mary over the way the children were disciplined, and why she was upset with Kody over some of the way he treated the children. From what I understand, Christine has stated, and I believe she stated in the book, that she dislikes physical punishment. She doesn't use spanking herself and doesn't believe it works. Additionally, Kody came from a culture that felt that he had to employ paddles for corporal punishment. Peyton claimed that occasionally he would strike him in the mouth. According to Gwendolyn, she was flung into the air to frighten her into stopping her sobbing or from becoming something Kody didn't want her to be. According to Gwendolyn, Kody left her with bruises, and the backs of her legs were sore and bruised, making it difficult for her to sit comfortably. All of that was said in public. Peyton, after all, publicly declared that he had smacked or struck his father in the mouth, spanked him, and wounded him. Therefore, that might be a problem. Not that it would be typical for a 14-year-old, but I don't think Kody will be able to contain himself and doesn't seem to care how old a child is. He will get physical if necessary, and it doesn't seem like he cares. He doesn't appear to care whether someone is disciplined or not. I'm not sure, but that might be a factor in this. I'm obviously just speculating, and I can only base my conclusions on what I know for sure about what the children have said, what they've written, or what we've seen. On the show, we've seen the youngsters get into fistfights. Since that occurred in the early seasons, it wouldn't be unusual to assume that there is some degree of violence in this household. Therefore, I believe that Christine will be worried about Kody's severe behavior. His problems with anger are getting worse. He has demonstrated a history of verbal abuse, mental instability, financial abuse, and exploitation of his wife, children, and polygamy. Polygamists made a concerted effort to ensure that polygamy was not an issue in their legal cases, even though they might be able to keep that out of the courtroom. I don't know why Kody would fight, aside from the fact that he doesn't want to pay and wants to make Christine's life miserable, but I don't see any way he could win. As a result, I believe she will likely end up in track 2 or 3 at the case management conference. I also genuinely believe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have an evaluator visit Kody's home and observe how he raises his other minor children, as it might be able to help his other children. I'm concerned about how solitary and domineering Robyn's children are, and now that they've purchased this bigger home, it seems as like he won't let them go. I'm also concerned about what's going on inside that house, and why their worlds are so locked off to the outside world. Kody might benefit from having a child evaluator. Because of Kody's actions on the show, I simply cannot fathom what he would say to her via text message. Given how terrible it must be, I am aware that McKelty had stated that there had been a great deal of drama surrounding custody issues, drop-offs, and her involvement in them. This is going to be controversial in my opinion, and I genuinely believe that time is of the essence, which is why Christine reacted so rapidly. They are aware of Kody's financial activities. A payment order will be issued to her. It's not a win-or-lose situation. Additionally, a lot of individuals have commented that the injunction for financial purposes will not be included in this verdict. Additionally, They claim that there is no debt until the judge makes an order, which is untrue in child custody disputes. She goes to court in situations like this and claims that Kody owes her money. Through her case, she is informing the court that he perhaps owes her money for medical bills and other fees, in addition to the child support she is entitled to. Anytime a complaint involves money issues, a financial injunction is placed in place to stop the liquidation, disposition, or transfer of funds, regardless of whether a court order is in place. I did speak with a family lawyer who handles high-conflict custody cases in Missouri, not Utah, and they told me that financial injunctions are common in child custody cases without divorce because money is always involved, especially with someone like Kody who will try to avoid it. The original complaint includes money and debt, so Christine will have a status conference. Once the order is issued, it's a crucial aspect of the case, and Kody has an order that needs to be executed. In all honesty, having a true advocate wouldn't be a bad thing. In all honesty, she may likely benefit from a guardian ad litem as well. Most likely, it could benefit them both. It would not be detrimental for Truly to have someone who would stand up for her as a support system because I'm sure that there are aspects of Christine's life that are difficult for her children, including the isolation from them. At the age of 14, Truly is able to speak up for herself in court and express her desires, and her voice will be heard and given careful consideration. The court will therefore give careful regard to whether she genuinely does not wish to live with her father, other than to preserve face, add insult to injury, and make things more difficult for Christine. I have no idea why Kody is fighting. The status conference is a first stage, but it's clear that Christine is playing to win because she's reacting so fast and is aware that Kody recently bought a house. In addition to mediation, they will need to determine whether custody evaluations, guardian ad litems, or other individuals who can assist with discovery will be necessary. Because of the manner that Kody organizes his affairs, his financial documents will be difficult to find. He will make this difficult, and I have a good feeling that Christine's attorney is prepared. Let us know in your comments, and stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.